we can't believe how quickly this has worked, how seamless this has been with Jimmy Butler.
Has a fan base, an organization, a team taken on the mindset of a player more than Jimmy Butler? The confidence is exuding from all the fans I talk to. The players are confident. Everyone, Bonte. You're more confident on air. I see it.
Evan Giddings is rolling, sucking Draymond. Out of nowhere, Shaq got here going, the Clippers beat the Cavs, and Draymond Green's back's hanging out by a thread. His calf, he needs us. Like, Lord.
I have been celebrating Draymond.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, during that time, we know your day-to-day, Shasky. We know your hour-to-hour.
Time out. We
did call him Joe.
But out here, I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then
I needed the Cavs to win. They lost the game before, and I go,
they've lost three straight.
They lost. The streak broke, so now they're going to come back and win. And they lose 2 in a row. I go,
the Clippers look good.
They
lost 3 in a row. Sacramento beat the Cavaliers.
Yeah. I'm talking about at the moment they had lost.
No, I know. They had won 16
and I threw
straight.
My pen.
I'm listening this morning. Spinotti's talking about the circle of trust and this and that. I'm like, oh, God.
Everyone's playing great.
On? Everybody's playing well.
The postman is balling right now.
He is.
All right. Pajemski's looked great in his return. I thought his first quarter yesterday was outstanding. Look, Kuminga made some winning plays down the stretch. A big bucket. He had a big rebound. I'm seeing Buddy Hield hit big free throws.
Be careful talking about Kuminga because every year, every season, there's always somebody we point the finger at. And
thank you.
Kuminga's become that guy, unfortunately.
It's so unfair.
It was Wiggins last year. It was Clay last year. It's got to be someone.
It was Pods earlier this season.
It was Pods.
Well, Pods wasn't playing well, and now he's played great. Since the original injury, the injury before this, he's been really good. And him finding his shot has actually really salvaged this season.
No, it's good to be here, though. Let's have some
fun. Where do we want to start here? Do you want to start with Jimmy Butler? Do we want to start with Draymond Green? Jimmy? Or do we want to start with the biggest story?
Can I give him? No, we'll get to Curry in a second.
Okay.
I truly believe, just obviously when they're both healthy, this isn't a knock on anyone. I believe that with 4 or 5 minutes to go, I want Jimmy as the facilitator with the ball in his hands. That doesn't mean Steph isn't a huge focal point of the team, the organization, everything. I want things to flow through Jimmy because I expect him to make the right basketball decisions and plays and Steph running off action and things like that. I don't necessarily want Steph at the top of the key with the ball in his hands. Hey, create everything.
Well, he won't. He won't because the greatest strength of Steph Curry is playing off the ball. And when you're humming, like they were winning championships, Steph Curry's playing off the ball. And you have Draymond Green at the top of the key waiting for him running off the screen. So now you get Jimmy there, and you can run your split action with Dray, Steph, and Jimmy right there in the split action. Sometimes they run the split action higher at the three-point line, which allows more spacing.
You can post him up. I think he's your best basket
Jimmy's going to be your playmaker. That's why you brought Jimmy here. That's okay. Steph Curry's greatest strength is playing off the basketball. So when you got Stephen Curry running off screens, how many guys are going to overreact to jump out on Steph at the three-point line that will open it up for a cutter? That may be GP2. That may be Jonathan Kuminga. That may be Moses Moody. That may be Quentin Post stepping out for a 3. Yep. We shall see. But that's your best. That's why you brought Jimmy here. Yeah. It's for the clutch time. And there's 7-2 in clutch time games with Jimmy buckets here yesterday, right? Nobody would even know that he was 1 of 11 in the fourth quarter on the floor.
Yeah.
1 of 11. But there were good shots. He controlled the game, and then they made great defensive plays. Moody with a block. Draymond with a great recovery down the court.
That was one of the best plays in Draymond's career.
You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler with a great block at the end of the game. So they played the defense when they needed to play the defense. And yes, Jimmy will facilitate.
And he yells at Guy Santos, gets him out of there immediately.
Well, I didn't like that sub.
Well, people are freaking out about that. We had some callers, and I don't know about Jimmy. I was like, no, that is what you need. That's what this organization needs right now. Like Draymond, and again, I get it. And Draymond's been doing this for a long time. And not to say it's gotten old, Bonte, like the message gets old from the messenger, if you will. But there is something to someone else coming into an organization or workplace and giving you a kick in the pants. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, I'm going to listen to this guy. It's a new voice. And like, we're seeing that now with some of the young guys and them gravitating towards not I was going to say Buddy Hield, but a Jimmy Butler. And Buddy Hield, by the way, is one of those guys. Those guys are so tight. Before, after game, they're joking around. Like,
they are tight.
His imprint, Jimmy Butler, and I brought up the Guy Santos thing just because I thought that was great leadership out there, and people might say that's bad leadership. No. That's what Tom Brady does. You mentioned that earlier. That's what the Tom Bradys of the world do. They demand excellence on the court. So you make a mistake in a close game like that, I don't care if it's against the Toronto Raptors or against the Boston Celtics. Like, you can't make mistakes like that. So not only was he going to be getting on Guy right there, but that was also letting Steve Kerr know, like, hey, man, Like,
are people making a big deal about that?
No, we had a couple callers that were calling about it.
Coach in Vallejo was like, you got to watch it when you're criticizing the young guys.
You think it's going to hurt their egos and they're not going to have. I was like, no, it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
Jimmy Butler is taking Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga under his wing. And Pods. He gets on Pods a lot.
Yeah. Pods
but he's coaching.
Yes.
He's coaching them. He's teaching them where to be because you know what? In 12 games, it gets really real, folks. The playoffs are right around the corner. And Draymond mentioned it last night. When you get into a playoff series, you may be playing Denver. You may be playing the Lakers. You may be playing Memphis. You may be playing, who the hell knows who you're going to be playing? The Clippers?
Yeah.
You got to be buttoned up in these playoff games because a 10-0 run can knock you out of a game. A 12-0 run can knock you out of the game. You got to clean up the little details here, and that's why Jimmy Butler got on Gisettos, and he yanked him, and you get Kuminga back.
Yep.
And Kuminga plays 25 minutes yesterday, and he's trying to find his legs. Well, people got to remember with Jonathan Kuminga, yes, he's had some up and down times since he's been back. But he's the one guy who hasn't played with Jimmy yet. He's the one guy who hasn't found that rhythm with Jimmy Butler yet. And so slowly but surely you're starting to see that, and I thought he played very good defense down the stretch. He played good defense down the stretch against Denver, and he played good defense down the stretch yesterday against Toronto. So, yeah, who cares if he got on Gisettos? Gisettos will take it on the chin.
Well, and with the Jonathan Kuminga angle, I think it's going to be really interesting, and we'll see how long Stephen Curry's out during this road trip. They go to Atlanta tomorrow against the Hawks, so they got the 6-game road trip here. Miss a couple games, again, blessing in disguise. I hate kind of saying that because it's like I don't want Stephen Curry to be hurt. You're only a game up in the loss column against the Clippers, so you need him out there. And we've seen Bonte, this team offensively without Steph can get a little stagnant at times. But bringing Jonathan Kuminga now, is the juice going to be there with JK? You got Jimmy there.
Yes. This is a great opportunity.
This is a great opportunity for him to flex his muscles again offensively and get a little bit more aggressive. I feel like.
They're 7-3 without Steph this year.
I know. Look, they're plus 60 when he's off the court since the Jimmy Butler era.
They were minus 90 before Jimmy.
Yeah, I know. We were watching. We're monitoring the non-Curry minutes. But look, you got Dyson Daniels and Trae Young in Atlanta. And they've had some weird games in Atlanta over the last 5-6 years.
So out on Trae Young.
I mean, he's played better this year. But you know what? On the road, role players play better at home. They're in the playing box trying to get a home game. There's going to be some tricky games on this road trip.
Of course.
5 days they're going to spend in Miami. They're going to spend 5 days in Miami and, the return of Jimmy Butler. So
Are they going to stay with Pat Riley?
No, probably
all 5 days?
Eric Spoelstra get some brunch with them?
Yeah.
You're talking about like
Tyler Hero?
There are moments in the game where, it's a 10-0 run or whatever. You need to stop the faucet. Look, I've come to this conclusion the other night. Quinn Post is going to get attacked at times on defense. He's going to get cooked. He's going to get he's going to. They're going to go out of their way to go at him, and he's going to have to make adjustments in game. But he does bring an element of flame throwing from the outside offensively that I think he connects a lot of different personnel lineups that give you some defensive specialists out on the perimeter. I think you got to play him. I think you have to stay committed to 20 minutes minimum a night to play him. I mean, last night obviously was a great game, but he has got to stay in the lineup. And even if the shot doesn't fall in the first half, I want to see Kerr go back to him in the second half. Yes, it's give and take. You're going to lose a little on defense at times. But I think he brings things to the table as a stretch. Last night, he set a screen for someone. That guy cuts. Yeah. Everyone goes with him. He pops out. Bang. They just don't have a lot of guys that can do that.
No, they don't. 22 minutes last night for QP, 6 made threes. But you mentioned, and this is where Steve Kerr, and I was coming in, I heard a caller say, why didn't they start him? Well, if you go back and watch the Denver game, and Denver obviously had no Nikola Jokic.
8 minutes.
No Jamal Murray, no Christian Brown, and Westbrook, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon attacked him. And Aaron Gordon dunked on him. And they attacked him and jumped out to a 15-8 lead. And look, teams are going to hunt him because he's a rookie and he's trying to get acclimated to the NBA. And there's going to be some growing pains here. He's going to see minutes. Whether he starts or not, I wouldn't focus too much on that because Steve Kerr wants to get off the great starts.
Yes.
So sometimes you want to play your best, what he feels like is his best lineup defensively and offensively to get off the better starts here because the Warriors don't want to play uphill. Got an older team here. You want to play with the lead. The Warriors' record when they have a lead after one is I want to say 27-4. I could be wrong there.
Wait. So if they're leading after one, they're
27-4, 26-4 like that. But they're also after the third quarter when they're leading, they're 37-4.
Right.
So
really,
obviously, and Bully always says this. And really, I didn't subscribe to this really until this season. When you watch around the league, the NBA is kind of a first quarter league in terms of you get out and set the tone, play your pace, play uphill, play downhill, still an uphill, all of a sudden you're rolling. So that's where it goes with QP. What matchup is it? who you're playing against. Because Steve Kerr, we've seen it. I don't know why people get so surprised about this. We saw it his first season as head coach with the Golden State Warriors. He flipped the lineup multiple times.
Well, he's just going to do that.
He's going to do that. So QP will get his run. He's going to see anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 25 minutes, depending how the game flows.
I mean, we were talking about that with Looney, too. Like, it might not be a Looney game, but come playoff time, he's going to have some moments.
And he played 8 minutes last night.
Yes, exactly.
Played 8 minutes last night.
But, I look at, not having GP2 last night, the closing lineup of Pods, who had a great first quarter and then hit a bucket late. Pods, Moody, Kuminga. This is the final pairing. Cosmic, and then you had Butler,
Draymond.
And Draymond Green. I like that combination. Then they subbed in, okay, they're going to foul us. We're up a couple. Let's get Buddy Hield in here. And Buddy hits a couple of big free throws. Like, you got to play the offense for defensive matchups and play. And I feel like he's kind of been on it right now in terms of Kerr, pulling the levers.
No, he has been on it. He's been on it. Halftime adjustments. Sometimes you'll see Post start the second half. Sometimes you'll see Moody start the second half. Sometimes you'll see GP2 start the second half. And what's imperative for the Warriors moving forward, too, heard you guys talk about Draymond's shot. Those are shots that Draymond, and we've been talking about this for years. This is what drove me crazy in the Lakers series a couple years ago when Anthony Davis camped out in the paint and they went to the two big lineup with Looney and Draymond and they dared them to shoot it. Draymond, Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, they're all going to have to shoot these shots in the playoffs because guess what? Darko Rajakovic, the coach of the Raptors, he's telling Draymond, keep shooting it, keep shooting.
We're never
guess what Mark Daigneault from OKC is going to say? Guess what Ty Lue's going to say with the Clippers or JJ Redick with the Lakers or Mike Malone with the shoot the ball. And you know what? Draymond Green has been making them pay, but GP2. They missed GP2 last night because offensively in this last 9, and I ran into GP2 after the Denver game because I just got to keep letting it fly.
Well, I think
he's shooting 44% from 3 in his last 9.
So the Denver game's a great example of GP2. First 3 quarters, he was letting it fly. Then in the final 5 or 6 minutes, he passed up 2 corner threes that he's got to take. And they settled for a late shot. I call it grenades. Hey, here's the ball. There's 3 seconds. Make a play. Jimmy had a late 3 that he had to throw up. JK, at times, get caught with the ball at the end of a possession and takes a shot that you have to take. Otherwise, you're going to have a turnover. And people are like, oh, why is JK taking 3? Because he got thrown a grenade with 3 seconds left. Open shots that are created must be taken.
They must be taken. When you get a great shot like that, a coach can't draw up a better play. Coach cannot draw up a better play, so you got to let them fly. And the good thing is Draymond's letting them fly 14 3-point attempts.
14.
You know what I'm saying? 14.
The most in 8 years, Monte. 11 attempts he had against the Kings in 2017, 13 versus the Bulls in 2014.
Well, how about him leading the team in scoring twice in a week? And he hadn't led the team in scoring since 2016 in Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
I said
9 years ago.
Last week, I said, I think we're seeing the best offense and defense since 2016. I swear to God, I believe it.
Yeah, he's playing unbelievable. You know what? That steak at House of Prime Ribs, I can start to taste it.
Me too.
I can start to taste it.
Did you guys hear?
What?
You can put DoorDash on a credit card now. They got like a whole credit system for DoorDash. You didn't hear this?
No, what?
They launched it yesterday. So we're going to go into big time debt for this prime rib.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Okay. I thought you were saying House of Prime Rib was on DoorDash. I was like, they are?
I was wondering. I was like,
DoorDash it.
Sasky was like, Draymond needs to sit his back. He's hanging on my third. I said, don't fool the audience. You just don't want to pay the House of Prime Rib. He's playing well, and he's gunning for that DPOI. So now he's motivated. He wants to make the all-defensive team, first team. He wants to win that DPOI.
Who's the oldest? I did this the other day. Do you know who the oldest first team all-defense is?
Oldest guy ever?
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
You're going to go Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. I was going to say Tim Duncan. It's not Tim
Kevin
Duncan.
Garnett?
Nope. Bruce Bowen.
Wow.
Bruce Bowen, that makes sense.
Okay, he was 36 years old.
Yeah.
And then Draymond would be 35. Who's the oldest DPOI?
Oh, that's a great question.
2000, 2001.
2000. Oh.
2000, 2001. 2000, 2001.
I looked this all up the other day. Me and Evan were doing
2000,
the show.
2001.
Oldest.
Oh, man. DPOY.
Mutombo?
Dikembe Mutombo.
The Sixers. Yeah, they went to the finals.
I was thinking who was on there. Yeah.
He was 34 when he got that DPOY.
Yep. He got traded, yeah.
This would be the oldest player to ever win DPOY if he pulls it off.
You know what?
And he'd be the second oldest guy to be first
team
all defense.
It makes sense, dude. Just the age of some of these guys and what we're seeing is unbelievable. Around the league, it's literally insane.
But did you know that?
I thought he was cooked. I was so wrong.
Well, if the Warriors want to make some noise here in the playoffs and do what Draymond said at the All-Star break is win the championship, when you think about their top 3 players, I think we all know it's Steph, Dray, and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
37, 35, 35.
Old.
when you think about those top 3 players in those ages, no team has ever won an NBA championship with their top 3 players being 37, 35, and 35.
They feel like the Raiders of the Rich Gannon era.
Right, but Steph is a different 37-year-old. And Jimmy's a different 35-year-old. The way he's hitting 8 threes, firing up the crowd, they needed that. So Chase Center is alive.
Has a fan base, an organization, a team taken on the mindset of a player more than Jimmy Butler? Like the confidence is exuding from all the fans I talk to when it comes to this guy. The players are confident. The Quentin Post, everyone, Bonte. You're more confident on air. I see it. Molly.
No,
you guys are questioning it.
I'm confident, period. I mean, my confidence doesn't waver. My confidence doesn't waver.
This was Bonte. Hey, Fitz, after the game, we're going to be talking about X, Y, and Z. Before, I was like, yeah, I know. We're going to be talking afterwards.
I wasn't like that.
You were scared of Scotty Barnes and them boys.
No, my energy never changes. I don't waver, man. Ain't no punk in Bonte Hill.
A tough loss against Toronto in Toronto.
No, my energy doesn't. I know you are. But no, this fan base did need a jolt.
Yes.
They did.
The fan base needed a jolt. And you know what? After that Orlando game on a Monday night, and I see fans leaving midway through the third quarter and a win. Fight? I said, damn, maybe they need to do something here. But I think, I was talking to Slater about this yesterday. I think we're all surprised. Some people in the organization are surprised on how quickly Slater comes on the show. You don't need to drop that. It's got a good story.
No, you're tight.
But no, some people in the organization too was like, we can't believe how quickly this has worked. How seamless this has been with Jimmy Butler. You knew he was a great player. And I think some people, when they're taking their victory, like, I told you we should have got Jimmy. We know he was a great player. But when you hear things that's happening with Pat Riley and Dwayne, so you kind of get skeptical. Yeah, exactly. But he's worked out, and it's been great. And now we move forward with 12 games left.